Hi, I'm Sarri Gilman, and I'm here with Coco and Romeo, and it's time to make our self-care wheel for 2019. So some of you may have made a wheel with me in 2018, and now we're going to do the 2019 wheel. You're going to need some markers and a scissor and some paper, and I used some watercolor, but you're going to cut yourself out a circle or two, because you might make mistakes and want to do it over. I know I did mine like 3 times. In the center, you're going to write 2019, and then you're going to divide it into 5 sections, and you're going to number each of your sections. And in your first section, you're going to write the word foundation, because the foundation of your self-care is eating, sleeping, and exercise. That's the basics, and there'll be lots of times during this year when you're going to come back to your foundation for your self-care and really focus on your eating, your sleeping, and your exercise. And it's okay to return to your foundation as many times as you need during the year. There are lots of things that can disrupt our foundation, and we need to focus our self-care there. Now for the other sections, I have a list of choices for you for 2019, and if you want, you can add your own categories, but here are some categories to just get you started to choose from. Adventure, creative, spiritual, relax. I'm going to do a lot of relaxing in 2019 for my self-care. Retreat, emotional self-care, nature, quiet. It's a pretty noisy world, and we could all use some more quiet time for our self-care. Meditation, financial. Maybe you're working on your finances and your savings. Recovery, if you're in a recovery program. Health, social. These are your warm connections that make you feel good to be around people, and your practices. So practices, maybe you have a meditation practice, or you walk in nature as a regular practice. So you can have a category for practices. So I picked my categories as, well, I have foundation, because we're all going to have that one. Then I picked social, spiritual. I combined them as one. Relax, emotional self-care, and adventure. Adventure is really big for me. And then under each area, each category, you're going to write the very specific things that you're going to do in 2019. And some of these may be things that you already do and that you always do, and that's fine. Put them on your self-care wheel. But you may find that you're adding some new things too. So for example, for me, under relaxing, this year I'm adding massages. I started getting them in December a couple times this December, and I've never gotten massages regularly. And I realized it is time for me to start adding that into my self-care. So in 2019, I'm going to have more massages. So now under relax, that's the first thing on my list. And then I have reading. I do a lot of reading to relax. I knit. That's a regular practice of mine. I do soul collage to relax. And walking in nature with my dogs. So there's a very specific list under each category. You're going to write the exact things that you're going to do. And then remember, in order to protect your time to do them, you're going to need your boundaries. So then I took my wheel and I made it smaller, and I painted it, and these are the exact same words. It's my exact list. It starts with foundation, and I have eat, sleep, and exercise, and I have relax, massages, read, walk in nature with my dogs, knit. So you see, I go all the way around the wheel. On social, spiritual, I have Friday night dinners with friends. So adventure includes some bike rides and some trips, and so all around the wheel I have everything written down, and then I have boundaries around the wheel to protect my time to do this, because we all get called away to do more work or to care for others, and I just want you to be sure that you're also caring for yourself, and you're going to need your boundaries to protect your time, to be sure that you're doing your self-care. So I'm going to take my 2019 wheel and I'm going to put it on the first page of my journal for 2019 so that it's easy for me to find. And whenever I'm looking for a next thing or checking myself on, am I doing all my self-care? Am I just focusing on one category? I'm going to be sure that I'm spreading myself out and going into my other categories. Now, the final thing I want you to do is I want you to write key dates on either the back of your wheel or right next to your wheel, wherever you put your wheel. And these are key dates that you want to increase your self-care during the year. And that is something that I want you to pay attention to, because there are times in the year when you need more self-care. Maybe the darkness of winter really gets to you and it's a time when you need to do extra self-care. Or maybe there's an anniversary date in the year. Like for me, it's the anniversary of my father's passing. Is a good time of year for me to do extra self-care. I also started doing last year, after I teach, I've been leaving a day or two on my calendar just for playtime, for self-care for me. And so playtime became like a thing that I just built in around my work schedule to make sure that I was taking time before I started my next thing and returning to work. And so that would be a key date that I looked ahead on my calendar and I noticed I'm presenting and teaching, therefore these 2 days are play dates afterwards, and then I continue working. And so I want you to look at your calendar and see if there's extra kind of self-care dates you want to make with yourself in addition to your regular self-care. Okay, so I wish you a great 2019, and I hope you take really good care of yourself.